I hate this game mode, guys. I hate this game mode so much. I figured out of sheer wrath and anger and just hatred for everything that has to do with PETTAN Battle, I would finally make a video on it. I've avoided it for a very long time because I know that it's not a very popular game mode, and there's not really a much to do with the actual gameplay, so it's kind of hard to show off actually, like, quote-unquote playing the game mode itself. But I did just kind of want to rant about it a little bit here, and just talk about, you know, the things that I think need to change with the mode, or reasons why I don't think it's that popular, or that I, at least myself, don't enjoy it. So we are here in the, what is this, like the 27th PETTAN battle, something like that. I don't know the exact number here. We're going to go ahead and click through. So I just finished one of my battles. So we're going to be able to obtain a couple of reward sticker cards here. Oh, perfect. And it looks like I have another one done there as well. Great. Okay, so my problem with PETTAN, right? Obviously, it's nice that it's, you know, some people just say, like, oh, it's no big deal, it's just a little side game mode, you know, it's just like Legends Adventure mode, where you just, you know, you just tap in real quick, you activate some resources, and then you forget about it, and you let it go, and then hours later, you just come back when your battles are finished, and you just collect your free rewards. You didn't have to do anything. It's like a cookie clicker. Great. While that is true, that is also not super conducive for really, really heavy grinders, for really, really serious players of this game, right? That is a really, really nice thing for people who just play this game casually, because this is something that you can just casually log in, takes you an extra couple minutes to do, and then, you know, let's say, like, you do your dailies and then you log out. Well, then at least when you come back tomorrow, all your fights will be finished, and then you'll be ready to collect some free rewards. So that was just some extra stuff you got for nothing. That's all fine and good. I don't have any issue with that. But the problem becomes once you are the type of person who is a completionist or wants to complete your entire collection, because they are keeping track for you here in your collection of all of the series of sticker cards. So over time, it's going to be kind of important for you to hustle on this so that you can actually collect all the sticker cards within the time period, because you only get 7 days to play this event every time it comes out. And most of the time for me, even if I play really hard for those 7 days, meaning, you know, like investing some of the best possible stuff into these fights to make them end the quickest and keep redoing my runs at a really efficient rate, a lot of the times I don't even finish collecting all of the sticker cards in the first 7-day period. I have to wait until the return of PETTAN Battle the next time around, where the new sticker card series will return for this, like, the second time, and then finish it up. I have had, like, a time or two in the past where even the second bout of those cards returning, I wasn't able to finish them. So just the fact that they've made that, like, even a little bit difficult, I think speaks volumes to this event, right? So now, aside from the sticker card collection, just for, you know, bragging rights or collection purposes or whatever, if you don't care about it for that, that's totally fine. But then there becomes another problem, that there are missions attached to this. So in the Korin missions tab, I guess I'll go back to the top at the end so you can see exactly what tab I'm talking about, but there are a set of missions here for every single PETTAN battle that's ever released, right? So you can see here, like, these are for, like, the older series and stuff, for Series 1 and Series 3 and 2 and stuff, but there are a couple of missions tied where you have to get 10, 20, and then all of the sticker cards from that series, and then you'll earn a total of 10 Dragonstones for doing that, and there's one of these tied to every single, series that's come out so far. I'm not exactly sure the order that these are in. They're kind of funky, so it's hard to find, like, the exact ones. I guess let's go back to the top. Maybe they're closer up to the top here. No, because, like, all the basic ones are all the way up here at the top. These missions aren't in a great order, but they are in here. And if you go look in-game, you'll be able to see that for yourself as well. That there's just especially if you're someone who started playing more recently, or, you know, you haven't slacked on PETTAN Battle over time, then you can go and take a look. You will see that there are just, like, a gigantic pool of Dragonstones waiting in there for you, from missions that you can't possibly complete, because these series cards only come around every so often. I think I can actually show that. I have it pulled up on one of these wiki pages. Yeah, this one here. Okay, so this kind of shows the schedule that they've been going with. They have a pretty a pretty standard system for the way that they release these PETTAN Battle, like, sticker packs and stuff. So let's focus right here, starting at Series 5, and you can see the, like, the trend that we're looking at. So, on the 10th PETTAN Battle, Series 5 was released. So we had the Series 5 cards to collect, and then also the, okay, so the login bonus are giving you the sticker card packs from Series 1. So every single day during the 7-day period of PETTAN Battle, there's a login bonus that you can get a small little pack of cards extra. So those would give you some Series 1 cards if you hadn't already, you know, collected all of those, and that would be good for you. And then also, of the various rewards that you can choose from in PETTAN Battle, one of the rewards that you can choose from in order to, like, farm up those resources would be previous sticker pack cards. So in this 10th PETTAN Battle, you would be able to pick the Series 1's cards. So if you missed out on the Series 1's cards in the first 3 PETTAN Battles here, then on the 10th, or I guess the 9th and 10th one, you would be able to farm those up for yourself. So that would be like your next chance to get them. So yeah, basically the way it works here, they release a pack once. The first time that it releases, it's the only cards that you are getting from the new set is just those ones. And then on their second appearance, they pair with another new set and then repeat as well, right? If that makes sense. Okay, or actually, wait, I think it did get a little bit... Okay, so when they first release, they release alongside the previous set that had just been released. Then on their second appearance, it's just those cards, so it's a little bit easier to farm them up because you're not dealing with a diluted pool from the previous set. And then on their third and final appearance, they pair with the new set and become the old set themselves. And then you have to wait quite a few PETTAN Battle periods, months and months and months, and then eventually they will return as the login cards that you get, and then another, like, special set of cards that you can choose to just get more PETTAN cards as your reward instead of, like, potential orbs or any other, you know, Baba sticker items or anything like that, right? So yeah, you do have that option as well. But then post that happening, they just don't really return again for, like, a very long time, and some of them just never. Just because we haven't had the game mode around long enough for them to include some type of third iteration of these cards returning, right? So there are quite a few players out there who just will basically never have the ability to collect all of these previous cards, and so there's just going to be hundreds of missions sitting in your mission tab that you won't ever be able to complete because you can't possibly get these cards. So that is a really, really big hindrance for me. And this is the problem with the game mode, in my opinion. This is the biggest problem with the game mode, right? Let's go ahead and switch back to the game, and I'll keep playing the game mode for a moment. But yeah, so as you can see with my collection, I do have all of them collected, but that's because I make sure to make my life extra tedious during the PETTAN Battle period and grind it as hard as I can, right? But obviously you can see that that's very annoying. So we have 1 or 2 fights that have just finished on us, and then the other ones still have over an hour left. Now, that is totally dependent on the number of cards that you put into the game mode, right? Did my music stop here? What's going on? Oh, I think it's just trading to a new track. Hello? Give me 1 second. Okay, there we go. But yeah, so, okay. So we collect our sticker cards. We get a couple here. Nice. That's great. Oh, daily login. Whoops. Okay. So yeah, let's go ahead and go back into PETTAN here. But yeah, so, like, obviously we have a couple of options, right? I could just sit here and load up with the strongest cards on him, and then if we were to battle right now, then this battle would be over in 40 minutes, right? 40 minutes is basically the lowest amount of time that you can get. You are basically battling with this little HP gauge up at the top. You want to get it all the way down, preferably into the blues here, but even if you barely get it into the blue, you're still going to be waiting like 5, 6, 7 hours for it to finish. You really, really want to get it down to like 1, 2, or 3 bars to get yourself like the best chance to, or, you know, for the time to be as low as possible. So obviously using type advantage helps add a little bit of attack power, but sometimes the sticker cards that it's throwing at you as your enemies, like in this one specifically, there is a ton of int cards that it throws out at you, which means you're just going to be overload using a bunch of your physical cards the entire time that you have available, and that's going to make it a little bit tougher for you to keep up with that like number of cards. So that is one of the main things here, right? So like you see here, I could go a little bit harder with this just to get it down to 1 bar. We're probably going to be at like what, an hour and a half? Yes, we're at like an hour and 15 on that one. I could have gotten it down to like 40 minutes had I applied a little bit better of sticker cards. But as you can see here, I don't have that many, right? This is another like really big hindrance of this game mode, is the fact that it's not designed in a way where if you are grinding for optimal success, you're going to also be growing your collection of sticker cards. Because they're all single-time use, and once you spend them, they're gone. You do earn more as you continue to farm up. But what I've noticed for the most part is if you're playing this event as hard as you need to be playing it in order to earn all the mission rewards and complete the sets, then you're going to be becoming deficient on these cards every time. So what I've had to do is play really, really hard for like the first time that the sticker pack releases so I can get most of the cards, and then I have to chill for the next one and just not play as hard so that I can build up my sticker card collection again and then go back in on the next one and go really hard when the new sticker set comes out, basically. That's kind of the trend that I've gone with. But I feel like if I just go hard every time, then I'm going to be super deficient on these cards and not basically run out, right? And have to wait for like the daily logins to give me a couple extra to even be able to play the mode. Once upon a time, that has happened to me. So, I just don't really, I kind of frown at that. So the other thing here is that there is one other way around that factor that I just talked about here, right? So we're going to go ahead and leave 3 bars on that one. I think that that's fine. But again, look at that. 2.5 hours. That's so brutal. Just because we're saving the 1 sticker card, so now it takes an extra hour and a half to complete this instead of just... we could have added like 1 more card and then it would have only been at 40 minutes. But then, our rewards are likely not going to be as good as what we put into it. And I don't want to become deficient on these cards. So let's go ahead and switch back to the wiki here. And then I will show off this. Okay, so there are some characters that have additional drop rates, bonuses, for other cards. So right now we're looking at set 1. This website is pretty out of date, so it doesn't actually have the current set here. And I'm not going to get too into like showing off the stuff for the current sets, just because I think that this is a really overbearing part of the system that is not super necessary to pay attention to, I guess, or it can help you to pay attention to, but it's just something that requires an additional time sink. Let me explain a little bit further here. So basically, if this is your enemy, then using either one of these sticker cards here in the battle against this enemy is gonna give you bonus drops, and basically that'll just mean that you earn extra sticker cards or you earn extra hidden potential orbs or whatever currency you're farming for, right? It'll just give you some bonus drops of those. So not only first do you have to have these sticker cards to use against this boss, which are always going to be from the exact same set, by the way. So if it's from the active set, then you need to make sure you're earning cards from that active set to be able to use against this same active set. And then this means any cards that you've earned from previous sets are definitely not going to be cards that are giving you bonus drops, right? You're only going to be able to take advantage of this from the new sets. So not only do you have to have the cards, first of all, then you also have to know all of this information, right? Look, this is so extensive. Basically, every single boss that you can possibly face off against, which is pretty much the entire sticker set. There are 35 different enemies here, and there's 37 cards in each of these, sticker sets. So I guess, or maybe there's only 35 in the first one. I don't actually know for sure. But yeah, basically every single card in the set has at least 1 card, and sometimes up to 4 or 5 cards that allow you to get bonus drop rates for. Memorizing all of this? I cannot imagine memorizing all of this. Now, granted, it does go with the series pretty hand in hand, so it's usually like whatever enemy they fought against, then you can, use that, just use like deductive reasoning to figure out which ones go against which, but that's going to require a lot of knowledge of the anime and knowing every single fight. I myself don't have an amazing memory, so I completely understand those community members that don't have the ability to just recall exactly who's fought what based on, the attack that they're doing or the outfit that they're wearing to know exactly which Frieza in the series they were fighting against and stuff. Like, oh my goodness, I don't have that encyclopedia of Dragon Ball Z knowledge in my head. I really just don't. So I completely understand if you don't either, and that's what makes this a really, really tough thing, to where you would have to do something comparable to Chain Battle, which is depend on some outside community resource like what we're looking at right now, some online Wikipedia, because it doesn't show you these numbers anywhere in game. It doesn't give you the indicator of which cards are going to be type effective. Now, this is one of the big suggestions that I could give to making this game mode better, is if while you're selecting your sticker cards in game when you're resetting your battles, if it would have a glow, like a red flashing glow around the cards if it's one that's going to be type effective, so that you know you're going to be getting bonus drops by clicking the card that you click. Just give you that information for free. That would allow you to farm up just as quickly and then more efficiently, because the game would be giving you more information, right? So we do have these bonus drop ones, which I think are the most important ones to pay attention to if you're going to pay attention to either. And then there's also bonus damage ones. So it's a completely different list of cards, because now these ones, instead of being the enemies that they fought against for the bonus drops, these are now adding allies that they fought with. And then these are going to be providing bonus damage to the enemy. So basically using using these cards aren't going to give you any extra drop rates, but it's going to make that HP bar at the top go down a little bit easier, so you have to utilize less sticker cards in order to shorten the amount of time that the battles are going on, right? So optimizing both the bonus damage and bonus drop rate cards can be really good for you, but it's so tedious. I did try this in the first couple of PETTAN battles. It's just so tedious and so much extra work, and it takes you so much extra time that I've just found it's really not worth it to have to jump on a wiki and spend 30 minutes resetting your fights every hour as your fights finish, right? So like for an entire week straight is just really not it. So yeah, I think that while it's a decent idea to have these things included, they definitely need to include some more in-game ways for us to detect these things. With the blue and the blue and red sparkles on cards, or the blue and red flashing outlines that they can do on cards, they need to add that for these bonus drop rates and bonus damage cards. I think that would be really, really important way to make this just a little bit less tedious to grind. But even with all of that included, I guess switching back to the game now, we can talk about the inevitability that these things finish at different times. So that's partly why I selected the cards the way that I did, right? Just on these last resets, so that you could see. Look at where all my timers are at, right? This isn't something as easy as like, oh, I'm just gonna have to come back in a couple hours and check on them, because 3 of these are gonna be, well, 4 of them. Okay, 3 are gonna be done in an hour. 1 of them's gonna be done in an hour and a half, and the last one's not going to be done for 2 hours and 20 minutes. So it's just like all these different random varying times that I'm going to have to return to the game. And this continuously just gets more and more jumbled up as you go throughout the set, right? Because when that 53-minute one finishes, if we come back right at 53 minutes, we're going to reset that. And then now there's another timer that probably won't match up with anything else around it that we're going to have to, just add a new time that we come back to this. So basically it's just something that you're constantly jumping back into if you want to play it to the optimum degree. And I just think it's a really big hindrance, because you have to constantly remember about it if you're grinding other parts of the game. If you're sitting there grinding Easy A stages, it doesn't give you any reminders that these things are finished until you go back to the home screen of the game, right? Because when you come back here, you do get the little tag in the upper right corner that tells you your PETTAN battles are finished. And then also, if you open up the start menu, if you have any battles that are finished, there will be an exclamation point on the event. So it does give you those reminders, which is nice. But if you're sitting in the quest mode and you're link leveling for hours on end, it's not going to give you any reminders throughout that. If you are if you're in any events, if you're, grinding challenge events, or if you are grinding Easy A stages or anything like that, it's not going to give you any of that information from here. You would always have to go back to the home screen to get that. So I think adding those indicators at other places in the game, say like on the results screen, anytime you finish an event, right there on the results screen, it just showing up that little tag that comes up in the upper right, if that were to pop up there, that would be perfect. That way it doesn't matter what you're doing in game. As soon as you finish your run, it will immediately interrupt you and say, hey, do you want to go to PETTAN? Your thing's done. And you won't have to like manually remember to go and check on that, right? But aside from that, that's, just how it's a hindrance for people who are playing the game all day, every day. But for people that are not playing the game all day, every day, it's going to be nearly impossible for you to, like finish all these fights. Now, if you have notifications on for Dokkan Battle, then it will actually give you notifications, that you can, you know, take a look at that will like show up on the home screen of your device and stuff that will tell you like, hey, your battle is finished, and so you can jump back in game to finish it. Ironically enough, that will happen like during maintenance and stuff too, which is the only reason I know about that, because that's the only time I'm ever like logged out of the game where Dokkan Battle will actually give me notifications. But yeah, so I guess that's a little bit helpful. But again, just a bigger hindrance for players who are playing the game very, very hard. This game definitely does not cater to those individuals, which I think is kind of sucky. So essentially, it has all the same problems as Chain Battle, as like all of the really relevant information that you need to succeed and do well in the game mode is not available for you in game. And you have to depend on community-built resources in order to, you know, do well on those things. But then also for really hard dedicated grinders, it just becomes even worse. Whereas at least with Chain Battle, if you were a really dedicated grinder and a dedicated collector, you had an upper hand in that game mode because you had access to a lot of cards that other players wouldn't, which gave you higher scores in the game mode. So that was at least a bonus there. And then the other thing with Chain Battle is it only takes a couple of minutes, right? You would just have to do this work one time per day, or a couple of times for the week that it was out, and then you were done. Once you got the top 1% rewards, you didn't really need to do much else. You know, just kind of freely grinding it casually would have gotten you the rest of the rewards and stuff, and then you'd be fine. But in order to actually max out this game mode and do as well as you can, you really got to play it hard every single day. So, yeah, and this lasts an entire week. Though it's not constant grinding every second of every day, it's 4 times longer than the World Tournament, 3 times longer than the World Tournament. So, yeah, I don't know. In my opinion, at this point, this is the worst game mode overall. And, like, I have my qualms about a couple of other game modes. I think the next biggest one that I haven't mentioned is like Ultimate Clash. There are a couple of really, really big grievances, mainly with like the team building portions of Ultimate Clash that I think are quite annoying and that could be very easily revamped to make that event feel a lot better. I still don't think that overall that event is as bad as this. I think that overall that event is set up really well, that it makes sense. I like that it's, you know, raid boss style. I like that it's use your units once and they disappear. There are a lot of really unique things about that that make that give that, you know, game mode some interesting flavor and fun to play around with, but not this one. I just hate PETTAN Battle so much. So yeah, I think I gotta quit ranting here with PETTAN Battle before, you know, I continue to go in circles and drive myself insane. But let me know what you guys think of the PETTAN Battle game mode in the comments below. I'd be very curious to hear if I am alone in my thoughts here, or if anybody else has anything interesting you would like to share about the PETTAN Battle game mode. But yeah. So big thumbs down. We hate you, PETTAN Battle. Thank you very much for existing. Let's get rid of this game mode and get Chain Battle back. How about that? All right, well, that's going to go ahead and do it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to check out the links in the description below, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.